In the world of K-pop, where every path to stardom seems perfectly orchestrated, few stories are as quietly compelling as that of Kim Seokjin, known to the world as Jin of BTS. Today, he's celebrated as the worldwide handsome, a vocal powerhouse, a fashion icon, and a beloved member of the biggest boy band on the planet. But hidden behind his charming smile and disarming humor is a little-known chapter that could have taken his life and perhaps even the future of BTS down an entirely different road. Because before there was a mic in his hand, before millions screamed his name at stadiums across continents, and before he ever imagined himself donning Gucci suits or representing Fred jewelry on global stages, Jin stood at a crossroad. And at that crossroad was acting. Long before he debuted with BTS in 2013, Seokjin harbored dreams of standing not in front of screaming fans, but in front of a camera, delivering lines as a leading man in a Korean drama or film. His heart was set on acting, not music. And that dream almost came true. Jin was discovered not at an audition room filled with idol hopefuls, but rather on the streets of Anyang. A casting manager from Big Hit Entertainment, then a much smaller agency, spotted the tall, strikingly handsome young man while he was walking to class. At the time, Jin was enrolled as a student at Konkuk University, majoring in film arts, a clear testament to his serious commitment to acting. He was not someone who had been training for years to become a singer. In fact, Jin had no formal music training at the time. No voice lessons. No dance classes. He wasn't pursuing a career in K-pop. He wanted to act, period. But fate, as it so often does in stories worth telling, intervened. When Big Hit approached him, they saw his face not as the next Hallyu drama star, but as someone who could front a group that was still in its earliest conception stages. Despite having no background in music, Jin agreed to join Big Hit, intrigued by the opportunity. He began training not in acting, but in singing, dancing, stage performance. It was a pivot that changed everything. And as history now tells it, that pivot gave birth to one of the most iconic voices in BTS. Still, that early love for acting never left him. Fans who have followed BTS from the beginning often point out that Jin's ability to perform with raw emotion, whether during songs like Epiphany or Awake, comes from his grounding in acting. His expressions, his timing, his ability to hold the camera's attention all stem from a part of him that still very much identifies as an actor at heart. Even in BTS's variety content, Jin's instincts as a performer often shine through. His comedic timing, dramatic reactions, and theatrical deliveries are all part of what makes him so captivating to watch, not just as a singer, but as an entertainer. Industry insiders have often whispered about directors wanting to cast Jin in dramas and movies, even as far back as BTS's debut year. But Jin, ever the loyal team member, stayed focused on the group. And when asked about acting in interviews, his answer was always gracious, almost wistful. Maybe someday. That someday might be closer than we think. With his military service now behind him and a highly successful solo debut under his belt, Jin is standing at yet another crossroad in his career. His recent interviews hint at a renewed interest in acting. In one Spur magazine feature, Jin candidly shared his continued love for film, even describing how acting classes have remained part of his private life during off-seasons. "I've always loved the screen," he said. "It's a part of me I haven't shown yet in full." And that one line sent fans into a frenzy. On social media, armies began trending hashtags like Number Actor Jin, speculating what genres would best suit him. Romantic comedy? Historical drama? Action thriller? There's no shortage of enthusiasm or demand. Even seasoned Korean directors have publicly praised Jin's screen presence, suggesting that if he ever debuted in a drama, it could quickly rise to national rating highs purely off his name recognition and charisma. But perhaps even more intriguing is how this acting dream intersects with his current brand identity. Jin, unlike many idols, has crafted a persona that blends global elegance with heartfelt authenticity. His work with brands like Fred jewelry, Gucci, and luxury watches all hint at a man with a cinematic aura. His style choices, clean, elegant, slightly nostalgic, align perfectly with the aesthetics of modern cinema. Could the next step be an original film collaboration? A drama short produced in partnership with one of the luxury brands he endorses? Or a full-on acting debut in a Netflix or Disney Plus K-drama? The speculation isn't unfounded. Insiders at HYBE have reportedly been exploring scripted projects for several of their artists, and Jin, given his acting background and growing post-military schedule, would be the ideal candidate to launch such an endeavor. Still, what makes this story so compelling is the sheer what-if of it all. What if Jin had said no to Big Hit? What if he'd kept walking that day and never looked back? Would he now be a rising drama actor, perhaps a beloved second-lead heartthrob, fighting for his breakout role? Would BTS even exist in the form we know today? Because Jin didn't just join the group, he shaped it. As the eldest, he carried the emotional backbone during hard years. His humor kept the team grounded. His steadiness gave the others strength. Remove Jin from the BTS equation, and it's not just the vocals that shift, it's the emotional chemistry of the entire group. And that's why this almost actor-turned-idol story matters. Because it reminds us that every superstar was once a teenager at a university, dreaming of one path while fate whispered another. Jin's story is not just about talent or timing, it's about courage. The courage to try something completely outside his comfort zone. The courage to sing in front of millions when he'd trained to act. The courage to make himself vulnerable through music when he'd prepared to do so through film. And now, more than a decade into his career, Jin is not just a singer or a fashion muse. He's a living embodiment of what happens when an artist doesn't close the door on their dreams, but simply waits for the right time to open them. So, next time you see Jin on stage, hear his voice in a ballad, or watch him light up a Gucci campaign, remember, you're watching a performer whose original script wasn't written for the stage. But perhaps it's time he returns to the screen, because the world's ready. And so is he. To understand why Jin's story resonates so deeply, you have to look past the glittering stages and flashing lights. You have to look at the boy who once dreamed in silence, a university student scribbling in the margins of scripts, watching films late into the night, wondering if his face could one day fill a movie poster, not a stadium screen. When Jin speaks about acting today, it's with the tone of someone who hasn't given up, only paused. That quiet flame has never gone out. And in the ever-evolving world of entertainment, there's a poetic symmetry to watching someone return to the dream that first shaped them. Already, fans have begun compiling actor Jin compilations, cutting together clips from Run BTS, music video narratives, and behind-the-scenes footage that showcase his cinematic presence. His emotional delivery in performances like The Astronaut, his role in the Epiphany storyline from the BTS universe, and even his acting in brand campaigns prove one thing. Jin was never not acting. He's simply been waiting for the right role. And as 2026 looms, the year where BTS's full reunion is expected to take center stage, there's a palpable sense that Jin may finally blend both worlds. The singer and the actor, the idol and the artist, the dreamer and the performer. A screen debut in the making? Industry rumors have begun swirling that several Korean streaming giants, Wave, Coupang Play, and even Netflix Korea have approached HYBE with interest in scripted content featuring BTS members. While much of the attention has traditionally gone to V, Kim Tae-young, due to his roles in Hwarang and upcoming period dramas, Jin is now emerging as a wildcard. Sources within the Korean film community have noted that Jin's name carries enormous clout. Not only is he immensely popular, but he also represents a different kind of magnetism, one that blends maturity, warmth, and depth. In fact, a top drama producer recently said anonymously, "If Jin ever chooses to act, he won't be just another idol-turned-actor. He'll be a force. His emotional intelligence, his comedic timing, his voice, they're all made for the screen." Fans also remember that Jin once auditioned for acting roles before his idol life. His educational background in film arts wasn't a coincidence, it was a mission. And even now, his instincts for visual storytelling remain razor-sharp. In brand campaigns, he chooses wardrobe that tells a story. In interviews, he references cinematic inspiration. In performances, he doesn't just sing, he acts through the melody. The camera doesn't just love him, it listens to him. From silver screens to red carpets. The idea of Jin walking the red carpet not just as a K-pop idol, but as a bona fide actor, no longer feels like a fantasy. Gucci, Fred Jewelry, and other luxury brands have continuously dressed him in styles that mirror classic film icons, evoking images of 1,960 seconds French cinema or modern Italian elegance. He doesn't just wear the clothes, he embodies a character in them. So it's not surprising that some stylists and fashion critics believe Jin is already in character for something much bigger. "He has that timeless look," said a stylist for a recent Gucci shoot. "You could cast him in a black and white noir film tomorrow and he'd fit perfectly." The synergy between his visual style and acting potential is unmistakable. Even when promoting fashion, Jin creates an aura around the outfit. He doesn't model, he performs. Why now feels like the right time? After serving in the military, most K-pop idols experience a shift. Some disappear into quieter lives, others return unsure of their place in an ever-changing industry. But Jin? He came back more powerful. The success of number one Seokjin, EP Tour, proves that the world is ready for Jin as a solo entity. He no longer needs to prove his place in BTS he's established. Now, he's ready to explore the full spectrum of his artistry. And if that spectrum includes acting, it would feel less like a career change and more like a return to origin. Perhaps the most emotional part of all this is how humble Jin remains about it. In interviews, he never boasts. He always refers to his acting days with nostalgia, not entitlement. He speaks of wanting to learn more, of not wanting to rush, of ensuring he's truly ready. That humility is why fans want this for him so deeply, because Jin isn't chasing fame, he's chasing fulfillment, a message to the industry. Cast him now. To any casting director or producer out there still hesitating, don't. The story writes itself. The K-pop idol who gave up acting to support a fledgling group. The global superstar who kept his original dream tucked away for a decade. The artist who now stands tall, ready to return, not as a rookie, but as a legend trying something new. Cast him in a drama. Cast him in a film. Give him a short role, a leading role, a cameo, anything. Because when Kim Seokjin steps onto that screen, it won't just be fans watching. It will be history unfolding. And to Jin, if you're reading this, we know your journey hasn't always been easy. You traded one dream for another. You put aside your scripts for stage lights. But know this, your original dream never went unnoticed. It was always with you, carried in your smile, hidden in your monologues, shining through every performance. The world is waiting, not just to hear your voice, but to watch your story unfold in full. Because someday soon, someone will write a headline that reads, "Actor Kim Seokjin debuts in new drama and it was worth the wait." And on that day, all of us who knew this was coming will stand up and applaud. It's poetic how the universe works sometimes. The boy who once dreamed of acting ends up joining a group that would change the course of global music history. Jin's sacrifice, setting aside his acting aspirations, wasn't in vain. It was a trade, a quiet agreement between fate and perseverance. In return, Jin gained something even greater, a stage big enough to return to his first love when the time was right. Now the world waits. Not because Jin needs to prove anything, but because we all feel it, the momentum, the build-up, the silence before the curtain lifts. And as he embarks on more personal endeavors, like his ambassadorship with Fred Jewelry or his collaboration with Gucci, each appearance feels more cinematic, more intentional, as if he's writing his own screenplay without needing a director. Fans are already writing the script. The passion of ARMY knows no bounds. Fan-made trailers imagining Jin as a drama lead have gone viral on X and YouTube. In some of these edits, he's a mysterious detective. In others, a tragic lover. The most liked concept? A psychological thriller starring Kim Seokjin, showcasing his duality: soft, nurturing, yet sharp and unpredictable. They aren't just fantasies. They're visual petitions from a fandom that's ready to support him not only on stage but also on screen. K-drama enthusiasts have even begun suggesting real titles he could star in. The Silver Voice. A drama about a classical music professor haunted by a secret past. Moonlight Sonata. A romantic story set between a musician and an art curator. The Caller. A thriller about a man who can only communicate with the future through anonymous phone calls. It's not just wishful thinking, it's creative demand, an entire audience ready for Kim Seokjin, the actor. HYBE's role in Jin's acting future. While HYBE has largely focused on music, recent reports suggest they're expanding their production arm, investing in dramas and original video content. In 2026, they're expected to launch HYBE Studios, a full-scale production company. Insiders say that Jin may be one of the first artists offered a lead role under this new banner, especially since his solo visibility is skyrocketing post-military. Bang Si-hyuk, known for his foresight, once said that Jin had the perfect mix of discipline and warmth, a rare trait that translates beautifully into acting. Bang has also publicly praised Jin's charisma, saying during a press conference in late 2025, There's something timeless about Seokjin. His aura doesn't fade, it evolves. If Hype Studios does cast Jin, it won't be a risky move. It will be a calculated homecoming. The global stage is ready for actor Jin. Imagine it, the Cannes red carpet, Jin in a black tailored tuxedo, stepping out of a luxury car, flashes from thousands of cameras capturing his every move not as an idol, but as an actor debuting his first film. Critics from the New York Times, Variety, and NME lining up to review not just the movie but his performance. What was once a small dream at Konkuk University could become a defining legacy across multiple industries. Because that's what makes Jin unique. He doesn't belong to one world, he transcends them. His fans in Paris? They're ready to see him perform on stage and in film festivals. His fans in the US? They already imagine him winning an Oscar one day. And in Korea? The dream is more personal. It's about watching a local boy with big dreams make good on a promise he made to himself long ago before BTS, before the awards, before the lights, a future that's already written in stardust. Some say timing is everything. That perhaps Jin wasn't meant to debut as an actor when he was younger because his path had to take a more winding road. A road that would first teach him leadership, sacrifice, resilience, heartbreak, and glory. Now, with that lived experience under his belt, he's no longer just acting. He's feeling every role he might portray. And that's something no textbook, no workshop, and no acting school can ever teach. If he plays a broken man, it'll be from the heart. If he plays a romantic lead, it'll be with depth, not just beauty. If he plays a villain, it'll be chilling because we've seen his range and we know what he's capable of. Closing the curtain? Or opening Act 1? In the story of Jin, every chapter feels like a new rebirth. His return from military service? A rebirth. His solo tour? A reawakening. His ambassadorships with Gucci and Fred? A repositioning. And now, his return to acting whenever it comes will be nothing short of a revolution. Because Seokjin wasn't born to be in one spotlight. He was born to own the whole stage. To the directors out there, the screen is waiting. To the producers, the audience is ready. To Jin himself, your dream is still alive, and it's louder than ever. Lights. Camera. Seokjin.